Hello, I'm Rosario Ronidel, BSED 2B. The most important, rather interesting topic for me is about brain and language. Brain is the most complex organ in the human body. It coordinates actions and reactions, allows us to think and feel, and enable us to have memories and feelings. The brain has 6 major parts and functions. Firstly, primary motor cortex. It involves motor functions. Second, primary somatosensory cortex is responsible for receiving sense impressions from around the body. Third, primary visual cortex of the brain is the area of the cerebral cortex that processes visual information. Both hemispheres of the brain include a visual cortex. Fourth, primary auditory cortex receives and processes sound information from ears. Fifth, Broca's area, which is in the left hemisphere only and is responsible for speech production. If Broca's area was damaged due to stroke, the person would not be able to talk, but it is the right side or part of the body that gets paralyzed. Sixth, Wernicke's area is responsible for speech comprehension. Language development or usage can be seriously impaired by damage to Wernicke's area of the brain. When this area of the brain is damaged, a disorder known as Wernicke's aphasia can result with the person being able to speak in phrases that sound fluent yet lack meaning. I realized that knowing every part of the brain and its specific functions helped me to comprehend how vast that little brain in our head worked, where our language processed, and how our body moved or coordinates properly. The next topic that I prefer is about Cashin's second language acquisitions theory, and this is how I understand the topic that I would tackle. Stephen Krashen is an expert in the field of linguistics, specializing in theories of language acquisition and development. Krashen's theory of second language acquisition consists of 5 main hypotheses: the acquisition learning, the monitor, the input, the affective filter, and the natural order hypothesis. There are 2 different approaches to language acquisition. It is learning a language and acquiring language. We can learn language through formal teaching, like school. We need to memorize parts of sentences, or how to construct correct sentences, taking exams to assess how we understand or comprehend the topic, to name a few. They are all acquired through learning. How is language acquired? I will choose children as an example. Children acquire language quickly, easily, and without effort or formal teaching. It happens automatically whether their parents try to teach them or not. Children acquire language through interaction, not only with their parents and other adults, but also with other children. Keyword here is interaction. Even in adult, to acquire second language, let's say English language, we need to interact with others. You cannot just acquire it by reading or learning informal teaching. You can acquire second language through interactions or social contact. Our speaking ability will emerge eventually if we practice talking or having conversation with others who are knowledgeable in that second language, which is English. Monitor hypothesis. In our heads, we are all have monitor. I think it is the part of the brain which is responsible in language production and comprehension. Let's say, for example, I am talking to a foreigner right now whose native language is English. Since it is my second language and is not yet fluent, the monitor inhibit my speech. It block my speaking because my cognitive brain is trying to figure out which part of sentence to add. Unlike if it was acquired or native language. You don't have to figure it out. It will come easily. The input hypothesis. If we give comprehensible input, if we express it in a more understandable way, the children will learn easily. Even if it is learning language or acquiring second language, as long as you can give that comprehensible input and the children comprehend what you are talking about, it is easier for them to learn language and acquiring second language. Affective filter hypothesis. We need comprehensible input with a low affective filter. This is for teachers. Teachers should lower their affective filter so that the children can easily learn language and acquire another language easily. Considerations must be applied to make children feel more at ease. Learners don't always understand words, but they do understand tone. The attitude can be heard in teacher's voice and see through body language. The natural order hypothesis states the order in which learners acquire the grammar skills of a language. Krashen says that there is a natural sequence in which we learn specific grammar skills. According to the theory, what we teach may not be acquired if the student is not yet ready. It is important that teachers know where their students are in the learning process. Teachers must be patient with their students because according to the natural order hypothesis, this process of learning cannot be changed or sped up. This is another topic. It is about Chomsky's theory of language development. Noam Chomsky is an American philosopher, theorist, cognitive scientist, and linguist. Chomsky's theory is based on the idea that all children are born with the innate ability to learn human language. Based on Chomsky's theory, all children have a language acquisition device. The language acquisition device job is to encode into a child's brain the major principles of language and grammatical structure of the language. Chomsky believes that all children have an optimal learning age. Between the age of 3 and 10 is when children will learn to talk in its entirety and they will grasp fluency. Children do not need a trigger to learn language. Language comes naturally to them. Parents too do not need to teach their children to speak. by just simply speaking around the children will help the children to produce a language on their own. Even if a child is corrected, they will still speak in the same way they spoke before they were corrected. Maybe because they have only few vocabulary. And it came to my understanding that children have an optimal learning age. It was 3 and 10 years old. That they also have acquired language because they repeatedly heard it from their parents and others inside their house, which we were not aware of if we do not learn this topic. That's all. And thank you. Have a good day.